Hi, I'm Uma Raj and welcome to Excel functions in less than 15 minutes. We will learn SUMIF and SUMIFS functions in today's tutorial. SUMIF is a combination of a sum function with an if condition. The function adds values in a range that meets a particular criteria or condition you apply, and the criteria can be a number, text or logical value, and it can also be a wildcard, so you can use a partial string. You can also use any of these logical operators in your criteria. So we will go through some of the examples. The syntax of SUMIF is SUMIF, range, criteria, and the sum range. The range is a range of cells that you want to be evaluated by your criteria, and criteria is the condition that determines which cells to be added, and your sum range is the range to be added by your criteria or condition. And if sum range is not present, that means if you have only a range and criteria, then Excel will use the range as your sum range. So we will look at our first example. In this table, we have a few products and their quarterly sales. So we want to add the quarter one sales where the product is Paseo. So we will see how the function does it. Equal to SUMIF, your range, which is a product range, that is a criteria range, which is from B10 all the way to B16, and your condition or criteria is Paseo in double quotes because it's a text, and your sum range, that is your quarterly sum value for the first quarter. So it returns 34,000. We can quickly check this to see if this is right. Just select the value for the Paseo in your quarter one sales and look at the status bar, and it shows 34,000. The next example is Q2 sales where the product is either Montana or Paseo. So we have two conditions here, and SUMIF can take only one criteria. So what we will do is we will do the SUMIF with excuse me, SUMIF with the first criteria, that is Montana, plus we will do the SUMIF function with the second criteria, that is Paseo. So we will look at the formula here. SUMIF, your range, the same range as your product, B10 all the way to B16, Montana in double quotes, and your Q2 sales, which is D10 all the way to D16, plus again one more SUMIF function, SUMIF, same range as your product, and here it is Paseo, so double quotes in Paseo, and yours again the same sum range, which is your Q2 sales, which is D10 all the way to D16. And in your third example, we are using a different table, and in this table we are seeing country, product, and units sold. So your first example is we want to find the total number of units sold where the units are less than 900. So here you are adding all the values which are less than 900, and please note that we have only one range for both the condition and the sum range. So we will see that SUMIF, D2 all the way to D22 all the way to D36, that is your range for both your condition and for your summing, and the condition is less than. You can use the logical operator less than in double quotes, and operator, that is the concatenation between two values here, and 900 is a value, it's a number, so you don't have to put it in double quotes, or you can put the whole thing in double quotes and you don't have to use then ampersand here. So both ways are right. So SUMIF, D2 all the way to D36, and your condition, and because there is no sum range, Excel will use the same range as your condition range for adding the numbers, and you get the value 1233. And in the next example, we are using a country which is not Germany. So you want to add all the units where the country is not Germany. So there is no problem. You have a logical operator which can say not equal to. So equal, your range is again your country range, B22 all the way to B36, and your condition is not Germany. And please note that I am using the lowercase here because SUMIF is a it's not case sensitive. So it doesn't differentiate between uppercase and lowercase values. So you can use it either all letters in caps or all letters in small case or anything. So less than Germany, it's not equal to Germany. So SUMIF B22 all the way to B36 not equal to Germany, and what you want to add? You want to add all the units sold. So the sum range is your D22 all the way to D36. Okay, in the next example, we are using a wildcard. There is a wildcard which says you can have any number of characters after this asterisk. So we are saying I want to add all the units sold where the product name starts with MON. So any product starts with MON will be added into your function. So SUMIF, your range is your product, and it's something like MON and asterisk. So starts with MON and anything after that, and your sum range is again your units sold. So it will add all the values after this. If I have a misspelled word like this, see, I just highlighted this because the starting with MO instead of N, somebody put a T there. So it will not pick up in this one. So you have to be very careful when your table has any misspelled word or anything. So because the function will not pick it up. So that is pretty much about the SUMIF function. And there is another function which is called SUMIFS. What it does is it does the same thing, but you can have multiple criteria. The syntax for the SUMIFS function is sum range, range 1 criteria 1, range 2 criteria 2. So it can have up to 127 pairs of criteria range in the SUMIFS function. So that is much more than what you can do in any practical applications. So you had to see the difference here. The first argument is the sum range, whereas in the SUMIF function it was the third argument after the range 1 criteria 1 pair. Okay, so we will go through some of the examples here too. In this table we have a country, product, units sold, dates sold, and units returned. So we can have some combination criteria in our examples. In the first example, we are seeing how many units are sold where the units are less than 900 and the product is Montana. So there are two conditions here. SUMIF, your sum range, that is you want to add all the units, and the first condition is again the units range where the numbers are less than 900. So any number less than 900 you want to add. But you have one more condition. You have the second condition as the product. The product has to be Montana. So it returned 345 because it picks all the Montana here and it looks for anything which are less than 900 and it will add the units, and it gives you 345. And in the next example is where you want to find all the defective units here, where the country is not Germany. That means you want to find all the defective units from countries other than Germany, and there is one more condition. It has to be before the date 1/10/2005. No problem, we can do that. Equal to SUMIF, you want to find all the units returned. So it is F11 all the way to F25, and the first condition, so this is your sum range. These are the values you are going to add up, and the first condition is the country, B11 all the way to B25, and it's not Germany, that is your condition, and your second condition is the date. The date is in the E11 all the way to E25 cells in the F column, in the E column, and the date is less than, the condition is less than 1/10/2005. So, these are the number of returned defective units which are from all the countries other than Germany and date before 1/10. And in the third example, we are going to use both the wildcards here. The asterisk is you use it if you want to give any number of characters after your partial string, and the question mark symbol wildcard is used for just one character. It just gives only one, it represents only one single character. So, we will see how we can use that. So, in this example, we want to add all the units returned, where the product name starts something like MON and you are giving an asterisk here. So, any product starts with MON and the rest could be anything. So, that is what this says. If you put an asterisk here, that means it can have any number of characters after this MON. And the second criteria is your country. The first 3 digits, we do not know what the 3 characters are, and the last are ICO. So, any country starting with something, some 3 characters and ends with ICO will be added into this SUMIFs function. So, the only country which will satisfy is Mexico. So, it will add all the Mexico values where the product's name starts with MON. So, that is the way you use the wildcard. These examples may be very practical, they are just small examples, but this is how you use your wildcards in your function. So, we just saw how SUMIF and SUMIFs are similar, and at the same time how they are different, because SUMIFs can have more criteria, and you just saw that you do not have to add 2 different functions. If you have 2 conditions, you can just have it in one function in SUMIFs, whereas in SUMIF we had to add 2 functions if you have 2 conditions. So, that is pretty much what we have for these 2 functions, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos, and we will see soon with another Excel function. And in the meanwhile, play with Excel and practice. Thank you for watching.